Hey there, this is Dr. Daniel Chong with the Vital Human Podcast. Today we're going to talk a little bit about a case I saw recently that was a good reminder to me about how much how much value you can put into certain types of tests out there for cardiovascular disease. So let's go and see what I found out today. So earlier today, I saw a 58-year-old male who came to see me for the first time after having a recent stent placed in his left anterior descending artery feeding his heart, which is also known as the widowmaker because it feeds such a large portion of the heart that if there's a massive blockage in that artery, the person oftentimes dies. He had a 74% blockage there and it had to have a stent. But his history was interesting in the sense that prior to that, he had had a calcium score done, which is short for coronary artery CT calcium score, which is a CT scan X-ray type of procedure that picks up on plaque in the arteries that has calcified. And his score on his coronary artery calcium score was a 32, which is actually quite low. The range for that test goes up to 400, above which it's considered extremely high, although technically the score can go much higher than that. Above 400 is very high, and below 100 is not considered to be very significant or impart a large amount of risk for somebody. So in his case, he had the 32 calcium score, and his doctor at that time told him, not to worry too much about that, work on his diet, maybe take a statin, but everything's pretty good. And then a little while later, he was experiencing some symptoms, went in and decided to get more completely evaluated. They did an EKG, found some abnormalities there, and that is what prompted further evaluation and an eventual invasive catheterization where they actually look into his artery directly, and that is how they found the rather large blockage, 74%, that required a stent in that artery. Now, the key point to make here is that he clearly did not have nearly enough calcified plaque to create that much of a blockage. The vast majority of the blockage that he had in that artery, which only had a very tiny amount of calcified plaque, was from what we would call soft plaque or non-calcified plaque. And the point is that sometimes it's not super common, but especially the younger a person is, it's more and more potentially likely that a person can have quite a bit of arterial blockage or plaque buildup in an artery feeding their heart that is soft and therefore undetectable or unnoticeable or invisible on a calcium score. And they will then result in having a low calcium score or even a zero calcium score despite having actually quite a bit of plaque buildup. And so this is a perfect example. And as you can see from this research study, this is not unusual. This is a known phenomenon. The younger a person is, especially under the age of 60, the higher the potential for there to be some plaque in the area that is not calcified yet and therefore not showing up on a calcium score and not really reflecting the level of risk in that person. So this was a great reminder. I've actually been saying this a lot on social media and my Facebook, Instagram pages in the past, that calcium scores are great tests for screening, but they become more and more valuable the older a person is, and less valuable the younger a person is. So this was a perfect reminder for me and hopefully for you out there that if you get a calcium score and it's low or a zero, you have to consider other factors. You can't just go by that and decide what your actual risk is. And you certainly cannot say if you have a zero calcium score that your arteries are totally clear and there's nothing going on there. More has to be done than that to really ascertain what level of risk a person is truly at. And that's really what I try to do in my day-to-day practice. I use various angles of evaluation of people to try to get as clear of a picture from every perspective as to what their true level of risk is, which is going to help clarify for me how aggressive and what type of treatments we're going to need to do for that person. So hopefully that was helpful. Stay tuned for more. I would appreciate it if you liked this video and subscribe to my channel and shared it if you found this useful. And until next time, stay tuned to the Vital Human podcast. Have a good day.